Perry,
What's
brother.
up?
You know how I love how you answered Scott's 3 and 3 question for sure. I was just waiting for that to come up. So you know how much I love your approach and your look at this and context. And so as you know, us both being obsessive in this area, what I'd love for you to share from your experience for the group maybe is for those who are looking to take those steps, right, in their metabolic health, is just talking a little bit about the steps that you took, right, of that somewhat obsessive nature to figure out context wise what was best for you. Like, I know you say you're not an expert, but I do know your knowledge base in this arena and that you have done a considerable amount of work in that, and a little bit, if you could just share with the group kind of a little bit of what that looks like. And then I do have a quick second follow-up question. Is Rad the greatest BMX movie of all time? And if not, what is?
I'll answer that one first because I think I've seen it once when I was younger, and so I don't really even recall it. But I have like the when they did like I think it was like the 25-year anniversary, whatever it was. I have like the magazine that they or like the booklet they did for it, the DVD. I never watched the DVD because I just wanted the collectible, so I'm not even sure.
All right.
But to your first question, if I understand the question correctly, are you asking like what are the things that I did to quantify where I was with my metabolic health and then what actions I took?
Yeah, exactly.
So I went all over the place, and that's why I love what I do now because I don't think people need to spend the thousands of dollars and tens of thousands of dollars that I did and like just aimlessly running around. Like I think we've talked about this. Like I went and worked with Dr. Daniel Amen, did SPECT imaging. I've invested in courses. I've done like all these different things just to figure out where to start. So now it's simpler than that. If anyone wants to understand their metabolic health, you can go to DEXAscan.com or DEXA.com, whatever it is, or type in Google DEXA near me. Go get a DEXA scan. It's $99. It'll tell you your bone density or bone mineral density, which is super important. It'll tell you your muscle mass, your fat mass, and your visceral fat, which is very important to understand. And it'll give you all the information of where you are, what's healthy, what you're at risk for based on all these things. Not a BMI, not your weight. It'll give you those things, but understanding what's inside, that's like for $99, like that can be so empowering because of how much information you can get from that. And then just understanding what all that means. Beyond that, you can do, fasting insulin, fasting glucose, your basic metabolic panel, an A1C, which is an average, like a 2 to 3 month average of what your blood sugar levels have been like. So those things can tell you what you should probably be doing to improve them if you have levels that are way too high or something like that. Beyond that, there's like, the understanding, which you and I have talked about, Dr. Tia, I'm obsessed with his work because it's all about context, and seeing where he was being dogmatic about keto and fasting. And now he's like, maybe not. Maybe people should be doing less of those things and actually be focusing on protein and resistance training, and sleep and emotional health, things like that. So there's just a lot of basics like a DEXA scan, your fasting insulin and glucose, HbA1c. And beyond that, you can go down the rabbit hole of like looking at ApoB for like cholesterol, looking at LDL in terms of like the ratio to HDL. I think it's called Inside Tracker, is a blood panel tool you can get off their website. They send you the kit. You go to LabCorp or Quest Diagnostic, whatever, run it, and they look at all these different markers. So depends on what people want to invest, but I think if someone wanted to invest maybe $150, DEXA scan for $100. Get a glucometer for like Precision Extra off Amazon, like $25, and then get an A1C test. And if you really want to go the extra mile, another $15, ask your physician to run an APOB test, and that will tell you all that you really need to know in terms of where you stand in terms of heart health for most of us here today. So that's where you start, is quantifying where you are. But also it's deeper than that. You have to understand your unconscious mind to a degree, and your environment. We're biopsychosocial individuals. So we have to understand how the outside world impacts our internal world. The thing about nutrition, it's so easy to fix because we do it every day. But I argue our mindset is something that we do every day because we're consuming things all the time. Beyond that, like I said, anyone can benefit from more sleep, exercise, and then just clean up their diet, eating less processed foods. I'm a big proponent of limiting to getting rid fully of alcohol. Caffeine, I mean, that's just there's boundaries that need to be had. I think that's the conversation. But yeah, just start with those, figure out where you are on that spectrum, because that'll tell you what you should be focusing on, whether that's maybe low carb for some time, maybe that's just exercise more, maybe you're just stressed. I mean, there's so many different things. So I think you just start with the fundamentals, and then that'll tell you where to go. And then you can test those things. That's the beauty of biomarkers. You can actually see if what you're doing is working and moving the needle, opposed to just cutting out all these foods, which are diets. They're restrictive. They can help, but how do you quantify if it's actually working if you don't have biometrics?
Thanks, brother.
Good stuff. I saw a lot of people writing stuff down, so I think there's a lot of DECA scans that are going to happen.
And to be clear, it's
Josh, I want to be
EXA.
cognizant of your time. Can we sneak in 2 more questions?
Yeah, I got plenty of time, so we can
All right.
do however many you want.
Josh, can you just repeat what you wanted to clarify?
Yeah,
you
it's
just start again?
DEXA is spelled DEXA. D as in dog. EXA.